I'm Alana Haney, CMMC registered practitioner and co-founder of CloudZen Partners. Today, I wanted to share with you a brief overview of our CMMC Level 2 readiness consulting package that will take you from where you are today to becoming ready for your C3 PAO audit. We are 100% committed to helping our DoD contractors achieve CMMC Level 2 compliance as quickly and as least expensive as possible. We do this by first assessing your current scope of CUI and determining how we can narrow that down to the fewest users and systems. It is not uncommon for us to do a primary assessment with maybe a couple hundred employees and many systems and networks and be able to narrow that down to a very small scope. This is truly important and your very most important step as you enter any engagement with any consultant or any third party helping you. You want to be sure that your environment is as small as possible and only the necessary users and only the necessary systems are included in your scope. So once we have your scope identified, then we start building your POAM. We create your POAM off of the gap report based on the scope. We will outline in this POAM all 320 requirements that make up the 110 controls and give you an exact direction on how you need to achieve compliance and receive full credit for all 320 requirements. It was our goal and intention to make this POAM understandable, simple, and actionable. I can't tell you how many countless POAMs I've looked at that have been so confusing and convoluted, even I didn't know what to do with these POAMs. So I think number one, that's a big differentiator for us when working with CloudZen Partners. Number two is going to be a logical roadmap of how you're going to actually address the gaps in your POAM. How do you execute this POAM? You're looking at 320 requirements, but what do you do first? We will create a phased approach for you. There's a lot of redundancy in the assessment. We lump it all together and we say, this is your phase one. And we show you exactly what requirements / controls you're going to take care of in your phase one. Usually there's 3 or 4 phases of executing your POAM, and we will walk you through that every step of the way. You will not be confused on where to start. Next, we will provide you a budget of what every one of these projects are going to cost and the associated SPRS score improvement when you do these projects. So you can look at the budget and the roadmap and say, once I finish phase one, it's going to cost me this, and my score improvement is going to be this. You need to be able to follow that path all the way through so that you can realize what it's going to take and what it's going to cost and how you're going to get 100% score, which is 110 points on your CMMC audit when that time comes. Lastly, and I think another very unique differentiator is that our backbone as a company is as an IT consulting and procurement firm. We have deep supplier relationships in the market. We know how to negotiate on our clients' behalf. We know where the market is from a price point, and we go out there, hand select the best suppliers to meet your unique use case. We do not sell technology. We are not an MSP. We are not an MSSP. We are a consulting partner working for you as a DoD contractor. What that means is we're not trying to sell you any of our products or services or technology. Sometimes whoever is doing your assessment, they also want to sell you everything that you need to fill the gaps in your POAM. This can be sometimes very helpful if that supplier is uniquely positioned to be the best for you as an individual organization, but that's not usually the case. Usually it takes a community and a team of many different suppliers. In our experience, you're going to be working with probably 4 or 5 different suppliers that are going to be the ones to help you fill the gaps in your POAM. Again, a unique differentiator for us is we know who these players are in the market. We have deep relationships with them. We go to them on your behalf. We will negotiate with them on your behalf to be sure that you as a DoD contractor are getting the best possible rates and terms. This is important as a consumer because if you go out and shop the market yourself, you will find the same thing being offered at all different price points in all different ways with many different implementation models. We will help you take the guesswork out of that and directly introduce you to the best possible suppliers for your unique company. So let's talk about the deliverables and sum all this up. Number one, we start with a security assessment. So you will receive a gap report based on your current CUI scope, not the reduced scope that we may have engineered for you. Your POAM will then reflect that reduced scope, the smallest possible, the least amount of users, the least amount of systems, the least amount of networks accessing your CUI. That is the POAM. We will then show you, based on 320 requirements, which make up the 110 controls, exactly what you need to do to accomplish and fill the gaps. Next, you will receive the roadmap with that phased approach that we talked about. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, Phase 4. Lastly, almost lastly, you'll have a budget based on the hand-selected suppliers. And then lastly, we will make those introductions to the suppliers that we feel are best suited for you. There's no commitment for you to go with those suppliers. This is simply a starting place. We want to take our years of procurement experience and negotiation power that we have in the market and do something to help our country, do something to help our DoD contractors, make sure that this can be affordable to everybody. So if any of this piques your attention, if you want to hear more, schedule a discovery session, totally complimentary. Let's talk about your unique use case. We can talk about your current scope and some possibilities of reducing that scope. Happy to go over high budgetary costs. Everybody wants to know, what is this going to cost? How much time is this going to take? We can talk through that. I would love to hear from you. Schedule a call today.